I'm doing great.
It's a nice weekend. I'm here in Florida.
Ah, that's good. I love Florida. I used to be vacationing annually there. Uh-huh.
Oh, that's so nice. Where are you from? Where are you now?
I'm in Iowa,
Iowa. Wow.
so we were in deep winter most of the time, right? So we
Oh,
loved that 1 week vacation in Florida. Yeah, that reminded me back home in India. It used to be very warm, you know.
yeah.
Yeah. I have a lot of
Wow.
friends also there, so I used to visit them and also conferences. Many number of times opportunities to go there, and I loved it. So,
Very nice.
so I am going to talk about heartfulness today, because we have too much information going around. So people are getting more and more mechanical and uh, really uh, hard heartedness, right? We are
Right.
not sympathetic to people. So I thought I will bring some things that we employ here and in the house and around the clinic and also in the patient population. So lots of people really want to calm their mind and then don't take any opinions on people, react like human beings. I think we are forgetting sometimes. you know
Mm.
yeah. So this is going to be a long talk. So what do you think about that, Stephanie?
I think mindfulness is a great thing that really people should know about.
Yeah.
Your mind is part of the body, and we
Mm.
have to teach our mind to be calm, cool, and collected because you can manifest negative things and symptoms can come up just from being depressed,
Yeah.
even.
Yeah. A lot of people are they give too much value to the mind. So what we want is understand the mind but use it, but keep it aside and you will be natural human being with a heart. That's what I'm trying to address, right?
Right? Yes,
Yeah.
of course. That's amazing.
Yeah. I mean,
I
it's
can't wait to hear you speak about it.
yeah. Let me start the talk, and I'm glad you came up. So you can come back if you have questions or comments or whatever your style is about this, and I'll happy to really engage with you. Okay. All right. That was Stephanie from Florida. Reminded some things about Florida. That's nice. Yeah, she is right. People are not being mindful or understand where the mind fits into our life. You see, it is being complicated now with more information coming our way all the time. And that's the problem, right? I am not against information. Information should lead some wisdom in anything, right? So that we can use things better or do things better and conduct our lives better. All the information is needed, no doubt about it. But is all the information we need, or only the insights from the information we need? Lessons, or anything that makes sense to do, not to do. Those things are important. But when you take so much opinion about people, images on their characteristics, and go away with opinions that this person is that, this person is that way, and then always coming from that accumulated images of personality of the or behaviors or whatever they talked, all those things are really um, the problem. Anyway, welcome to our chart here. So uh, Saturday afternoon. I got a lot of things done today. I was at a AI community this morning. Major webinar was going on yesterday and today and tomorrow. So 7 o'clock to 11. And then I kind of did my routines, and then I'm ready to talk to people. I did come and talk to some of my friends on the Noom Vibe and this morning. Um, Now I felt like let us explore this. Uh, why we are really hard-hearted. I have seen this in New York and in Chicago, major areas. So many incidents where you could see people are kind of indifferent or just ignore or avoid feeling just a human being, like with some kindness, some compassion, some empathy to people coming around. Even in the relationship, also, people could be very cruel to their children, say things like you're no good, you are never good, something like that. Okay. And then they become hearted too, because they have to learn that loving acceptance and consideration at home, right? And then they go to school. School is also emphasizing be technical, be achieving the certificates and all that. That's all fine. There's all skills to live the life and also to make a living and all that. But then they forget that you get to help them to be moral, ethical, and humane. Humane, I mean that we are basically naturally loving, compassionate, and kind to everybody, right? To animals, to the plants, to the, how much change that would be if we can promote that from childhood, right? And in the families and in the societies and all that. I'm not talking something to preach, but I'm just talking about the actualities we see. More people are hardwired, and then they don't want to really come away from their thinking, and then they kind of are irritable, nervous, depressed, anxiety. So many problems because of the way we are becoming neurotic about using our mind. But if you don't really use the mind in human relationships, that means you okay, that's all right. You did something. I kind of don't take it to my heart, and I just say next time improve or learn from it, or let's discuss about it. Let's see maybe better way. That kind of thing, that kind of thing is lacking and getting more and more. And on the other hand, people are being violent. People are being cruel to people, and it kind of extends from the individual to family to inter countries, wars, and all that, right? But in our world where we are dealing with people, we could start by being kind randomly, random act of kindness that I call it. Actually, this is one of the skills I kind of look for people in the people who are coming to me for stress and burnout coaching. And also, I tell them this is something we can do. You can be kind to a cat or a dog or an animal, anything else. Or you could be kind to an old person, a weak person, a disabled person, or any of. I mean, I'm a doctor, so for us, that's the job, right? And also, uh, we have to bring our heart into the patient care. Then it becomes a service. It's not a means to make money and then be a monster otherwise, but it is more like a we want to have a technical training, continue to improve that, and use that to heal people, but also bring in our heart to care for people, to care for those patients. So because uh, medical profession has become mechanical, medical profession has become more like a data, more like what we get and all that. We are forgetting to bring the human angle while you are serving the patients. But once you put that, it doesn't become a chore. It doesn't become a real problem, right? So that's for me as a physician. Now I'm not that active as a physician, seeing so many patients. Only when I want to do, I do. But then I got the consultations, right? A lot of people, and when they come on the Zoom, I will be really being like that. And also when they come on training with my Zoom, they can also do present a lot of things that they are going through in their life. It could be physical problem, it could be mental problem, it could be something societal problem, or it could be psychological problem, any number of things, right? Or it could be just that they want to learn more, they want to understand more, all those things are there. And at that time, I approach it like a service that I'm doing to my patients, to whoever asks me for any kind of help, and that service attitude really makes it so much meaningful and purposeful rather than just doing it for some recognition, some appreciation, or some selling a service, or just you can do all of that. But what I'm saying is do it with the heart. You know, that means they are kind of err a little bit, let it go. They are kind of asking you several times because they don't understand, be patient, or they are kind of really trying to abuse you because they don't feel satisfied and all that. Listen to them, ask them what's really going on, that is heartfulness, that is being a human being. It's not a big deal really, but why are we not seeing it often in our relationship, in our public interactions, in our lot of it because people don't allow their natural, humane heartfulness come out because they may be perceived as weak, they may be taken advantage of, or they cannot really see that his mind is dominating in their interactions and not their heart. Okay, mothers know what I'm talking about because mothers do that kind of heartfulness with the children, no matter what, no matter how old they are and all that, right? Or people may do for their loved ones, like a wife or husband or brother and sister, friend, and all that. Friendships, that's where you will see heartfulness quite flowering, and then the best friends that you have, you will see that he or she will accept you, will really be with you for what you are, or as you are. They may tell you the problems that you have, but then they will tell you with the attitude to improve you. Okay, so this kind of thing. So how do we be heartful in information overload is to really look at what is coming at me, what is that I'm doing in my life, first of all, and you need something to be done, like you have to take care of your body, you take care of your mind, you got to take care of your career. Those are all okay, but then what's the purpose and where I'm going, what is the color of my life? Do I have moments of friendly, very happy people around me? Do I have people who are really giving, and I'm also inspired to give? Do I have an institution or anything where I'm working? I can promote that camaraderie, that kind of thing. You know what I'm talking about, but it is very, very difficult when you are immersed in so much of information coming, gathering, and just dealing with it, and never give your human thing. Maybe you were courteous, maybe you're civilized, you are polite to people, maybe you are just go by your business and all that. But I'm talking about inner, psychologically, how do you feel when you see somebody? It could be your wife or your kids or your relatives or your friends, anybody. How do you conduct your relationship? Do they have to agree with you all the time? Do you carry an impression based on what they expressed or what they understood? Maybe they are misinformed. They look at they give a different perspective, and you can agree to disagree, and then walk away from there, and don't carry an impression based on that. That's very difficult for people to do. And if you have too many stimuli coming at you, that's the problem, right? Information overload dishes out so much information then you are really don't know what to do with all the incoming stimuli, right? So you want to do the first things first, determine what is important, determine what you are doing, what is the resources, or whatever you are doing are capable of do all that, right? And then watch the process, how you deal with everything that is going on in your activities, in your job, in your talent, whatever, right? Then understand that you don't have to think all the time. That is the problem. A lot of people allow the thinking continuous. You don't have to. Actually, that is the neurotic generation that we are seeing now, because they don't have control, and they think thoughts are coming on their own, and they let them come into actions, and lots of times they may regret that, and they don't know how to be quiet, or they don't know how to be really still the mind, and they also don't know how to review things and then make them they go away, rather than become our patterns, our tendencies in thinking. I mean, this may sound like very old, but then this is needed now. I'm seeing more people are stressed out because they're overthinking, negative thinking, and also, in general, don't try to keep the mind washed up. That means every day you empty the mind completely, and then start the day in the morning in present. All these things are there for thousands of years people practiced, but then modern times, you cannot say anything to anybody about their inner matters, like how your mind works, how your heart works, how your brain and mind and all that, right? But if you can have some insight into that, then be heartful to begin with, and then use the mind for practical matters. And then don't let the mind come in between your relationship, human or animal or plant or anything like that. Then you become a real uh, contributing human being to the welfare of you and all the people around you. But if you say, "Oh, I know this very well," that's fine. It was external things. So you're running a company based on some management principles, and then you want to have those directives to your staff. But once they are doing the job, they would expect you to recognize and compliment them, or give them some incentive or reward for that, right? That's you can understand, and you can even appear to be ready for that, provided you have the resources, you have the money to do all of that. They will appreciate that. But if you are not able to increase their salary or give them some incentive, you could be kind with your heart, generous with your heart, offering friendship, offering kindness, offering compassion, offering empathy. All these are heartful. I think this is very important in the leaders of whatever we are leading, company, institution, countries, whatever, right? You could be ruthless and really uh, be shrewd and then gain some things, but doesn't mean that you will be hurtful. The thing is, if you are hurtful, don't worry about other people getting benefit from that. You yourself, your chemical, physical chemistry, your neurological responses, your immunity, everything is much better because you don't have negativity in you. Your heart clenches that uh, negative thinking, and then you will be very. That's why unselfish work is given such a top billing for centuries, right? So what you do is, whatever you are doing, you do it with a sense of, this is my duty, this is what I have to do, and all that. But don't expect a lot of rewards from it. Then the work itself, the giving itself, becomes the reward. Hopefully that makes some sense for you. But anybody has any comments or any own experiences they want to tell me, you can come up and I will be happy to listen to you and understand what's going on with you. Okay. There's Cecilia, there's Gloria and Dwayne, Stephanie, Margaret, and Paula, Craig 13. They're all on the Noom vibe. So you can start with how is my day going? Uh, are there a lot of interactions or my own mind is um, saying something negative about somebody? You can start simply that, and then you can don't have to blame yourself. Suppose you are annoyed by somebody and you don't want to see them, you can stop and say, after all, he's a human being. It has happened long time ago. Why do my mind carries that? That awareness of your own thinking. That means you watch your thoughts, not compulsively, continuously, but after getting up in the morning, how is your thinking? Uh, is it elevated thinking or is it like a constrained, selfish thinking? You can easily notice that. Don't judge it. And then elevated thinking is about understanding the universal principles, universal values, and elevating everybody, everything, that kind of thing. There are so many examples, so many people talked about so many good things. So you can also write a affirmation for yourself and then repeat that affirmation in the morning first thing. Don't just repeat it, but you repeat it with the intention of implementing what are the insights you have, whatever the affirmation is. Suppose you want to say, I'm not going to be negative about anything today, you know then you can be positive, that's fine, but then negative thinking seeping in, that's what I'm saying is you go to office with the intention of I'm going to be nice and happy and positive to anybody, and suddenly you get a news that something is lost for you, or you are demoted, or you have some consequences of some work you did and all that, right? And immediately people go into severe negative reaction, or defending, or really making it much worse than it is in lots of times. Okay, but if you can stand and say, okay, this is an opportunity for me to learn about what are the, maybe I need more skills, maybe I need more exposure, maybe I need more intention about doing this job and all that, then you will not waste your energy in the negative thinking, negative reaction, but you will use that energy to find solution to the problem. Okay, that's the balance I'm talking about. Then if you can observe that thinking, you can do that. Okay, so get up in the morning, be aware, have the elevated thinking, and if when you go there, you have the resolve to deal with the challenges of the life. Then use the knowledge, use the insight, use the wisdom that you have learned about how to accomplish that. And then through the day, don't go and comment on somebody, even if it is inside you. Okay, if somebody is not able to do a job, try to help them, otherwise keep quiet. Don't be critical or dismissive, or telling them you are not good enough as a something like that. That negative thinking also again is not good for you only. So you are not doing it for other people. Just by not being negative, you can help yourself with your chemistry, right? And then after the job is done, spend some time to review what's going on in your mind and put them on a paper or device, and then let them all go for the night. This is a simple formula that you could do on a continuous basis. But what people are doing, they come in the morning, they get up in the morning, they don't know how to really direct what they have to do, what are the priorities and all that. And then they kind of watch the devices and carry all sorts of stories from politics to gossip columns, so all that never allows you to elevate your thinking. It allows you to be meshed up in the daily rigmarole and sensory fulfillment and really doing some stuff just to earn a bread. Um, I mean, human beings are not just for that. We will do all that, but then we are more than that, right? We are thinking, feeling human beings, thinking positive about other people, feeling love and compassion for other people. That is what I'm talking about. So don't put your mind first, which may react, which may take some opinion on somebody, but put your heart first. So you woke up in the morning, you are aware, and you make sure that your thinking is elevated, and then you can also just do meditation, whatever that you do in the morning to slow down the thinking, and then approach to the work and everything with a service attitude and with complete attention. Don't let the mind go and form its own findings and all that. And then what happens? Then you come home and then you kind of wash up all that whatever positive negative reaction that you had during the entire day's experience, and then sleep on no mind or no thoughts if possible. If not that, just be positive. Pick up 3 to 10 positives that happened to you during the day. It could be that you have a cute puppy, or you are walking by the children's playground and you heard their laughter, or you were in the garden, appreciated the abundance of the nature, and you kind of exercised and felt very good. You kind of enjoyed music and felt very good. You enjoyed the company of your friend and you were very kind to that friend that you enjoyed. All those positives you recollect and sleep on those positive thoughts. Okay. Ideally, you split. There are so many ways people do. People don't care anything. They just to see violent movies or whatever movies they see, and then they go to bed without bothering about how their mind is, what they go to and all. Or people may think very negatively and they become more depressed and they go to bed. Or they may say, let me put that aside and then sleep on no negative thoughts. That's okay. But other people say negative, they don't allow to come in, and then negative in the negativity, they try to be positive and then sleep on positive thoughts. But some of the meditative experts or advanced teachers, they sleep on an empty mind, complete empty mind, and then they're happy. But furthermore, people who have self-realized, who have a control of the mind completely and also the body completely, they kind of stay in their bigger self and then sleep on that. That is very, very good. Then the mind will be available when you want it, but when you want it. You are not going to be provoked by something that's coming at you from external. Somebody gives a talk, somebody says something, and then that's new to you, learn from it. But don't allow it to seep into it. Go and investigate about it and see where you stand. But if you go from one speaker to other speaker and gather all their whatever they're talking about, then you are information overloading. Okay, so I wonder anybody has any comments or you want to talk about it? Could come up on that point. Um, See whether you are paying any attention to the information flow in society. It could be books, it could be articles, it could be videos, it could be social media, any number of things. Are you available yourself to what is really makes sense to you, what is important for you in your life? For example, you are a mechanic in something and you want to know more about the mechanical skills, then you want to improve on that. And also you have customers coming in, how do I interact with them? And I mean, company will teach you, but what I'm saying is in your personal level, do you treat people with a smile? Do you are friendly? Are you more than willing to help and go out of your way? Those kind of things. You don't have to be extraordinarily educated for this. What you got to be is be human. Come back to be a human being. That's a big deal in medical circles now because we had doctors at one time very highly respected and highly valued, right? But they were not having the bedside manners that normal people expect, especially when they are sick and when they are pain. They want somebody who has the human touch, right? We found out that doctors are overwhelmed by their work. So they have so many patients they need to attend to. So they need to complete documentation, ordering, and follow up, and all that. There's enormous demands on the time of a physician. So they may be excellent technicians, excellent students of science, and really equipped with a lot of knowledge so that they can solve the problem of the patient. They do, but lots of times people are happy if you come for a surgery, you do a good surgery, they're happy. But then if they have a chronic disease, they have an incurable disease, if they have missed coming early, so their disease has gone advanced, and then they cannot really reverse it, or they don't have the means for it. That's when human touch really makes it easier for the patient to. So I happened to be in the leadership role in the hospital at the time. So we were given this task by the administration that we need to study these doctors in action and then suggest ways for them to improve. So I just used to follow each doctor as they went about their business, seeing a patient, and things we were noticing were people are walking very hurriedly into the patient room, and lots of times they don't even talk anything. They just take the pulse, they just listen to heart and lungs, they examine the abdomen, whatever. Each specialist different, right? And then they may say, okay, we'll be doing this test and you'll be getting the results, and then we'll do the surgery, or we'll do the procedure or something like that, okay, cath or whatever, right? But they never took the time to see whether the patient understood, or whether the patient has some anxiety about it, or whether the patient is afraid of this. All those things are important. So the style is go there, read them, and sit down and listen to their experience. And then you can do your leading questions, and then you can order and examine and tell him what you are doing. If you are examining, you tell them. You are ordering tests, tell them. If you are asking him to get prepared for surgery, tell them. And ask them if they have any questions. All those things were very hard at one time because people are so hurried, so quickly they're going away from the room. Sometimes they stand with a hand on the door handle, and that means they are ready to go, and the patients are intimidated by it, right? So I followed each doctor and documented whatever that they are. I'm imagining everything from the patient angle. What I would like to do if I'm the patient, what I would like to have my doctor do. So those kind of things were all documented, and then I kind of made a list of them, and they're not mentioning anybody, but this is a good process if we do this. And at the same time, patient experience was given enormous value, right? Even now, right? Hospitals have to document so much percentage of patient experience satisfaction. Otherwise, they won't get the grants or they won't get all that. So sometimes they cook the data, but then lot improved after that, right? So nowadays, it is the patient and doctor are equal. So patient is the leader of his own care, and he had to be given all the data, everything, and he has to be given the chief role of how he is going to go about it. He may have doubts, he may not know everything, but then lots of simple things are okay. Like if somebody appendicitis, you take the appendix out, that's okay. But then there are so many complicated medical situations where people are about to die, multi-organ failure, don't have any will to not to uh, resuscitate and all that. So they want to be resuscitated till the end. So lots of things happen like that. Very complicated situations where you got to be humane. Otherwise, you go to stress. That's the secret. If you are service oriented, more heart than mind, mind is needed for the scientific knowledge, technical skills, and all. That's fine. That will work better too. Actually, you will be more balanced to use your natural intellect. Your intellect becomes much, much better. So it's basically like this. If I have a knife that is intellect, very sharp, and you want to cut anything, then you need to be balanced, you need to be steady, right? So that is where the heartfulness, service orientedness, kindness, compassion, feeling for the patient, all those things come, right? Then with that balance, because you are trying to do something positive to the patient in a service attitude, then really helps you to perform whatever you know things that you need to do with your intellect much better. Listen to all those intellect dominant worshippers. There are so many, so you get to have the balance of inward heartfulness to use your sharp instrument of intellect better. Okay, so having that kind of attitude in any profession, like nowadays people lost the concept of duty for the sake of duty. That was the ancient wisdom practice that they did. So they rose and went for functioning their duty because duty itself is very important for them. Okay, they may be paid compensation for it, but nowadays it is what we get out of it. Then I will do it. That doesn't get your heart out. That doesn't get your spirit out. You know, it will be you'll be after those compensations, and you'll be after, not that you don't need them, you need them, but even if you take a salary, even if you take something, take them, but the rest of the time use the mind and heart together. Okay, so heartfulness means you feel good about your job, and the person who is receiving your service should be feeling better, and also your health is protected, and you will get compensated anyway. You can put an establishment and say, okay, whoever can afford, they can pay this much. The rest of them maybe pay this much. That kind of thing. You don't have to be selfless all the time because you have your own duties and all that. But whatever you do selflessly is very good for you in your own heart. You'll be more heartful if you are really wash out that selfishness of desire. Okay, so thanks for the applause, and come up and tell me, Cecilia. Yeah, come up and talk to me about it. Brian, and so many people are here that I know are my friends. I just want to see your situation and how you are using heartfulness in your whatever you do, and let's learn what are those things that you have that are working for you, or did you gain any insight into that? Share it with us. And also tell me, how do you feel about uh, this saying that being heartful helps you a lot. There are so many ways to look at it in actual situations. You could stop and look at the other person and notice, are they old? Are they weak? Are they poor? Are they not able to afford? That kind of thing. Okay. Yeah, Brian is coming up. Brian is very heartful to his animals. I know that. Right, Brian?
Hi, Dr. Rao.
Yeah.
How are you today?
I am great, Brian. How are you?
That's good. That's good. I am good. I'm great as well.
Yeah.
So I think the first thing is um, how to be Heartful in the age of information overload.
Yeah.
So I think the first thing is to unplug,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. But even if unplug, you go to a shop or somebody, there will be so many blaring things coming at you.
Right, right. And so for me, the
Yeah.
second thing is, you know, get out in nature. As
Yeah.
you said, get out and spend time with the
Absolutely.
animals,
Totally agree. Totally agree.
right?
Yeah.
Because general, generally speaking,
Yeah.
nobody there is gonna be blaring the radio.
Yeah. Now, not in that, Brian, your nature, the heartfulness is nature.
Yes,
You're connected with the nature, then it will be rekindled. Yeah, go ahead.
right. Now, my mind goes back, and that's why I say generally nobody's gonna be
Yeah.
blaring
Yeah.
the
Sure.
my mind goes back to a time when I walked in a place that I've walked many
Yeah.
times in my life, especially in my younger years.
Hmm.
2 to 3 hours back in the woods,
Yeah.
away from civilization, and here, coming towards me
Mm.
on an all-terrain vehicle,
Mm.
is one of my neighbors. And it's just no, don't bring that back here. I didn't tell him that, of course. He had a camp back there. It was his privilege to have his bike there. He
Yeah.
thought he needed to. But for me, that was noise.
Yeah.
But generally speaking,
Yeah.
you know, it's just like right now, I have the window open. I can hear the breeze.
Mm.
I'm in my house or our house, but hear the breeze,
Hmm.
hear a bird singing. It's even, wherever we are, if we can be present,
Yeah.
be,
Absolutely.
right? Be cognitive of our breathing.
Yes.
Listen to the world around us
Yeah.
and take those things in, and not just all the information overload.
Exactly. Exactly. If you are in present, you don't allow all these things to dominate you.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's funny. I hear you talking about yogi. I'm not necessarily a yogi, but
Hmm.
I think perhaps in my heart.
Come back, Brian. You cut off in the middle. It's coming back. Okay. Okay.
That took about 2 seconds too long.
Yeah.
I, yeah, like I'm not a yogi, but the more I hear you talking, the more I think in many ways,
Yeah.
um, I probably have the heart of a yogi even without being one.
Actually, yogi was not like a religion or anything in the beginning, Brian. It's more
Right,
about suppose you are a nature lover.
right,
Suppose you identify I was born to in the nature. Nature is my mother. Everything in the nature is also my family. That kind of thing is this egoistic feeling of I am separate is gone. Then you're part of the nature. That is yoga.
right. And
So
I think that there are absolutely elements of that
yeah.
that
You see, these
apply and
ancient yogis, what
probably
they did was they studied our lifestyles, not the
right,
modern, but even the going out, asking for things and all that. They studied all that and they had deeper thinking and reflections. You can examine them and you will find some truths and some may you may not be understanding. But then the deeper you go, the more it is relevant now with the modern age.
right. And I think that there's many of the teachings or
Yeah,
many of the much of the mind frame and
yeah.
the spirit that
Actually,
is
actually,
relevant to a lot of areas,
yeah. The aim of
perhaps all
yoga.
areas of our life.
Yeah, the aim of yoga was about the mind and about going beyond the mind and then being with our universal consciousness. But that may be difficult for a lot of people. But basically, everyone understands after a while, my mind doesn't stop. Let me help.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So it's interesting, and
Yeah,
yeah, you know, our friend Doobie talks about our biggest gift is breathing.
Yeah.
And you know, to be present.
More than the breathing, it is the life force that is coming through the breathing.
Right.
So then
Right.
breathing will be deep, and then we understand the purpose and we revere it. My yoga practice 4 times better after I really understood the yogic way of breathing.
Right.
The same exercises, but because breathing has become so much efficient, so much better, I have more energy to that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an interesting way of connecting.
Yeah. Yeah.
And disconnecting.
Yeah. And also, it is the breathing that really helps us to eliminate toxins and get oxygen.
Right.
Yeah.
Have it.
Oh, we're cut off again. Brian, if you want to come, there's nobody in the queue. So, Brian bringing out nature and the breathing. Both are very important tools to come. There's something else about the breathing and mind, Brian. If you breathe deep, your thinking slows down.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. The having a background in sales and marketing and customer service and
Mm.
that sometimes fast-paced world,
Yeah.
I had to learn ways to cope and survive
And slow down. Yeah.
and slow down,
Yeah.
even in even in the noise,
Yeah.
right? And I think that's the big thing. Like, you know, it's just taking the 10 breaths, or you know, whatever number of breaths.
Yeah.
Just being cognitive. Take that breath in, hold it,
Mm-hmm.
release. You
Mm-hmm.
know, being aware of your body, your chest expanding, and you know, the rise and fall. To me, that takes my mind back to the ocean and the tide
Absolutely.
and the waves.
Absolutely. Absolutely appropriate
Right.
analogy. Yeah.
And so then then that, not only the breathing in the physical body,
Mm.
but the connecting to those memories, that place, that being. It, it, it helped me many times
Yeah.
to overcome a stressful situation,
Mm.
or to take what I refer to as kind of a mini vacation.
Yeah.
In an overfilled, information packed, stressful world, even though during the time in my life when I had to be part of that.
Yeah. You remember I talked about the vacating the mind is my vacation.
Right?
Yeah.
So, exactly. You
Yeah.
know, you can take that, you can do that anytime, no
Yeah.
matter where
Anytime.
you're at.
Absolutely. It's at our behest, and then no money, nothing involved. All you have
Right?
to be is aware, and then be aware of the breathing first, then start slowing it down and deep and out. That itself is a big relaxation.
Yeah, yeah. And I actually didn't hear the first part of your talk, so it's even interesting that we both, you know, we're on the same page,
Yeah.
because it's just part of that theme.
I was just making a case for being a human being.
Right.
Be heartful, be kind, and be nice to people, and don't let your mind influence that.
Right.
Because
Dr. Rao, I do
yeah.
have to step down, but you have a wonderful day, my friend.
You too, Brian. Thanks for coming up. I enjoyed.
Thank you.
Brian brought up nature, which is very, very important point. And I'm a nature lover, and I'm always in touch with nature. How I kind of watch and listen and be in nature. Um, if I'm driving, also I look for everything that has become a blessing because I notice the flowers blooming, the leaves are coming up, and leaves turning from small, the green is a much different color when they become big, and then when they turn different colors. So all the time, that is a blessing where by the Mississippi we have the seasons change. We have the winter and the ice, the snow, everything that I see, I'm delighted about it. And there's always that abundance is with us. But if you are overloaded with information and you're letting your mind circle in its own wagon, then you won't have this spontaneous movement of awareness where you can be relating to the abundance that is around us. We don't need money. We need that awareness to see the people, their laughter, or their pain, or their concern. Then you become a opportunity for being a human being. And if you are able to communicate, if you tell them something, you could relate with them and you could talk to them. Maybe you will help somewhere, you know. So that kind of so just being humane, just being our real nature, which is the nature also, or just being kind of a nice person, that helps a lot. And these days, people are so much information oriented, they let our heart go down and their ego come up, making them feel like, oh, I've accomplished so much, I learned so much, I have so much knowledge. Then you lose that heart to be there for human beings, for animals, for the plants, and all that, right? So, and then breathing is something that can bring you back to the moment, present moment awareness. Right now also, if you just don't want to talk and just take a deep breath, that very moment makes you aware in the sense you don't have all the chattering and everything in the mind dominating you. It makes you intellectually available to whatever is going on, like now. So those are very good points Brian brought about. I actually do a lot of courses on the breathing to help people to learn it, and I do it part of my wellness club. We do 10 different kinds of breathings. The first kind is called more like a bastrika. There's a simple but there are requirements for that. You got to be empty stomach, and you got to sit down or on the chair or on the floor, and keep your back erect, and then shoulders square, and then close your mouth and take deep breath through the nose. A count of 7, then hold it for a count of 4, and let it pass through the nose for a count of 8 when you expire. You do this 8 times in a row. Okay, and that is the Bastrika, which is a very simple exercise. We can do it in before we go to on stage as a speaker. Then if you feel nervous or if you are anxious about the speech or whatever, a job interview or performing surgeries and all that, where really your own inner, actually that anxiety can help you to perform the job better. But if it is too much, then you will not be able to do. But if you make that energy to work for you through a system, that's better. Either way, you will be in control of that anxious energy by taking deep breaths. We slow it down. The second thing we do is what's called Kapala Bhati, where you kind of close your mouth, and then as you are breathing out, you suck your abdomen inward like that. And you do that in a sequence of 10, 20, 30, or whatever you can do. But I do it up to 60 times, right, for my students. And then third exercise is called Agnisara. What it is you kind of sit down like we described before, and then let the air completely come out, and then your abdominal wall is sucked in. Now, holding the breath, move the abdominal wall up and down like a 10 to 20 times. I do 20 times, but people who don't have experience, they can do 1 or 2 or 5 in the beginning. And then we slowly, these are the things that you learn first, technique, and then you start slowly. And then you got to do it every day for a while to really get the feel of the maximum effort, and then do the maximum effort as much as possible on every day, right? So we talked about Bastrika, normal breathing and out, Kapalabhati is the really billed as one of the best breathing that can help with many diseases. Then Agnisara is something that can help with your metabolism. It will speed up your metabolism. Okay. And then there is what's called Tribandha. What you do is you suck in the lower abdomen and upper abdomen and also bring the chin to the chest. So these are the three bandhas. The lower abdomen helps you reproductive organs and excretory organs, and upper abdomen can helps liver and gallbladder and all, pancreas and all that. And then this chin tucking into the neck helps with the thyroid. So that's the multiple uses there. And then we do what's called alternate nostril breathing. It's called anuloma viloma. You kind of open up both nostrils by doing alternate nostril breathing, and that is there is a hand shape you have to. Basically, you take the right hand and you place your index and middle finger at the base of the thumb, and use the thumb to close the right nostril and take the deep breath through the left. And then as you bring up your ring finger and close the left nostril, open the right nostril and breathe out. And now take a deep breath, close the right nostril and open the left nostril and then breathe out. That's one cycle. Like that we do 5 cycles. And then we do what's called Brahmari. So the Brahmari is you close your ears with the thumb and place your index finger on the forehead and use the middle finger to close the closed eyes, and then keep the ring fingers around the nose, and then close the mouth and keep the little fingers around the mouth. Then you take a deep breath, and when you are breathing out, you make a noise like a bumblebee. That's why it's called bumblebee exercise or Brahmari, which is really good for your nasopharynx clearance and also speech box, right? That's why a lot of singers, a lot of musicians, a lot of people who use their voice are taught this. It is a wonderful exercise. Also, it can eliminate a lot of viruses that were there in your nasopharynx, and then they will be swallowed back or spit out. That way, the whole thing is much easier, really cleaned and good for your immune system, and also not allowing the bugs to stay there. So in the winter time, it's a very good thing for the prevention of all these viral illnesses that we see a lot in this part of the world. Okay. And then you have other exercise called Shitali, where you fold the tongue and put the edge out, and you take the deep breath in through the folded tongue like this, and then you inhale, then close the mouth and breathe out through the nose. All these exercises, everything that I showed you, you do 8 times or 10 times or 20 times as you want it. Okay. If you just do one or two, Kapalabhati and Anulom Vilom, those are the one you do each 15 minutes to really assure a lot of protection for the health. Okay. And then there is another one called you breathe through the teeth, right? Shitkari, they call it. So you close your mouth first, then open your lips so that your teeth are seen, and you clench the teeth and breathe through the clenched teeth in through the mouth. And now breathe out through the nose. Okay. And then we do like a whistling. You imagine a candle in front of you and take a deep breath through the nose, open the mouth and say, see, and then you do the final three. I think I said maybe 7 or 8. The final three are where you say each word of the aom. And so what you did is ah. You do that ah. That reverberates with energy in the abdomen. Then the next one is oo with the chest. Ooh. And final one is ma with your throat. The nervous process of the cervical in the neck, thoracic in the chest, and splanchnic in the abdomen. They are all affected by this reverberation sound. Okay, it is the ma. He said ma. So you extend it. I'm just mentioning them here. I'm not doing the complete practice. It usually takes 30 minutes for us to do. So breathing is very important, and learn at least one or two and do them. And also a simple way to do that is uh, club it with something, attach it with something. I taught my son, suppose you are driving and you come in front of a red light and then take 3 deep breaths, and he started to do that, and now he's advanced to other practices, kapalabhati. There is what's called churning of the abdomen. See, what it is they kind of stand in both legs and then bend their knees and put their hands on the knees and then suck in the abdomen and then churn the abdomen from side to side. Okay, that's called nauli. So there are so many other things out there. I don't want to go into deep onto that because breathing and yoga pranayama is about extending your life energy. Prana is that life energy. Ayama means extended. So by doing this, you will notice for yourself how beneficial this breathing practice is. How everything from your nose and pharynx and throat and abdomen, they all kind of clean up, you know. And also your utilization of the oxygen in the breathing in, that you use it better, and it reaches far corners of the body because you are making it deeper breathing and retaining more oxygen. So you'll be more energetic right off there. And the deep breathing, as I told you earlier, it kind of breaks that rapid thinking. So if you are aware of what you are doing with the breathing, you are here and now. So you are not allowing your mind to go all over. That's the problem with information overload, right? Not paying attention to give mind its own automatic circles and tendencies and memories that will go back to it, and then it will go on in the cyclical thing. What I am saying is think consciously and end it. Don't allow the cyclical thinking to form whatever thousand different circles are formed, and they go on their own way, and that is causing the problem. So suppose somebody is in front of the patient, my doctors, they have so many things going in their mind about so many other patients, so much of meetings, so much of insurance, so much of administration, all that, right? So they don't have the availability to the patient or whoever they're talking to. That's where they become short. That's where they become mean and nasty and all that, because they don't have time for that. That's wrong, I think. But if you understand your own mind mechanics and your own innate human nobleness, bring that out. Be service oriented. Don't act you are important. Act like the patient is important. And then you can use this deep breathing to cut down that thinking and think appropriately, think consciously. That means you are in control of what is going on. If you can achieve that, I think you will be very happy with yourself, and your patients will be very happy. That's what I discovered. Okay, so but this is applicable to any profession now, because information is invading almost everything, right? But I kind of use that. I kind of very big user of technology. I told you I was in AI summit this morning, for 3 hours. Yesterday 3 hours, today 3 hours, and tomorrow 3 hours, right? And I enjoyed it. I discovered a lot of new things. That's fine. But I'm going to use it for the betterment of whoever I'm helping or treating or healing, right? I'll do that too. So that way it kind of helps me to serve better, right? So, um, so are there anybody else who wants to come up and talk to us? Daryl is there, Mojo is there, Cecilia there. Uh, yeah, if you want to share with me how you are heartful and how much preference you give to heartful, that would be a question, I think. you would like to deal with it, and then you also want to contribute to the talk. Okay. What I discovered was I am a uh, physician. I had to read from 73 to 80. It took, because there was one year we lost because of our, there was an agitation in the Indian part, that part they were trying for a separate state and something. So one year we lost the curriculum year because of they kind of close everything because it's so violent, right? And uh, then house and see senior house and sleep and cardiology, and then coming and doing the geriatrics and internal medicine. So lots of study, right? Both textbooks from England and textbooks from America. They are really popular, and we have to read that. And a big book. More than practical, we had to imbibe all that information like a big deal, you know. But now, I Ashutosh, so many people come and study all that, but then without you knowing, your mind is hardwired for information, for reading, for gaining. All that is required for any skill. That's okay. But then when it seeps into your psychology and your relationship with people, that's the problem, right? That's where people lose their humaneness a little bit. And then I'm also an information master's, right? So my degree is about information, how to manage it. There, I did something about information overload. That's where I found a lot of problems with this losing the service attitude, humanness, and all that. You know, that's why I put it into my helping people with information overload, burnout, and all that. Right? EMRs came, and then lots of our people got burned out. So I understand why they are so. You know, so I try to help them with that. Even now, it's going on. A lot of people are burned out. You know, there are so many courses around the world actually, but none of them really can claim that we are offering a meaningful solution. I kind of say that if you can follow and understand and do that every day, there are a lot of ifs there, then you can really overcome this burnout better. It's not just numbing yourself down. It is like understanding it and putting that intellect under your control and make it a better asset. Just because you're intellectually smart, you get some things, doesn't mean you are trying to contribute or you know solve the problem of information overload. It's going to be much worse. Most of the things that people are doing are based on intellect again. When your problem is your intellect and thought, how can you solve it with intellect? That simple thing people are not. But then they have to be not thinking and being aware. That they cannot do. They can only think. They cannot stop it. They cannot still it. And they are there to say, when you are helpless, how can you help other people? If you are dealing with information overload and you don't have any idea how to not engage your mind, and your mind is always steeped up in that information or your intellect, how can you calm yourself down? So anyway, that is a side thing, you know. So as I grew in information, as I grew in India and here, I was not really aware of. But one thing was, India was very heartful. They may not have so much of facilities, comforts, and luxuries, and materialistic comforts and all that, but it felt comfortable. Not only comfortable, it's like a psychologically secure, and felt like you are wanted everywhere. You are kind of treated special. You kind of uh, had that feeling of love and affection really encompassing you in the in the house, in the society, in the college, in the hospital, wherever. Okay, there are problems they're going now because they are not following their own culture, only a small percentage. They also influenced by US and other Western states where all these problems are there too. So my message is to everybody, not just to. So I'm a global citizen anyway. I don't call myself one particular country anymore. So be human, be kind, be compassionate, and all that is possible if only you can quieten your mind, and then you can still the mind when it is not really needed. So be your real self, be in your awareness, and you start in a conscious way. Don't get indulged in cyclical thought. Cyclical thoughts are happening because you have allowed to hardwire those thought processes, and they go and then they occupy subconscious and they come out as really live things, even though they are not live. They were only memories, they were only imagination. That because you did it unconsciously so much time, they became hardwired. So you have to rewire them. To rewire them, you got to be aware of them. To be aware of them, you got to slow them and to come to one thought instead. This is all several steps of meditation. But eventually, meditation is only needed when you have a very uh, like a rogue mind that's going all over, and you are encouraging it by imbibing all this overload of information. Very practical. Okay, you want to be healthy, you want to be focused, you want to enjoy lots of things, you want to understand mind, you want to slow it down. Not because you're clever or you're kind of cunning or you're profoundly self-centered and you think only with thought everything will be known, then you are robbing yourself of the purity of that inner silence. Just question yourself, how long can I slow my mind? How long can I still my mind? How long do I enjoy silence within me? Am I silent at all? Or am I so eager to say things, talk about things? And actually, the best time I have is when I'm alone in silence. Catch the silence between the two sentences and then go there as often as possible during the day. And then that becomes the reality. Everything else is projected. Okay, so I just talked on dissolution of mind. What does it mean? How can you have this so-called dissolution? Doesn't mean that it's going to be lost, it's not going to be there. It is just going to be spiritualized in a new way. That way you are not having the side effects. Very healthy thing to do. Okay, as a part of wellness, I talked about that dissolution of mind. You can look for the talk and listen to it if you want to. Or if you have questions, send me. I don't. So, okay, before I go, anybody wants to come and talk about anything, ask me anything? Last chance. All right, then I will see you back whenever I can. Thank you.